We're talking about a truck that had to travel a total of 8,500 kilometers. However, the challenge was not just how to make such a long journey with the truck, but the real challenge was that this truck had a massive block of ice placed in it. The ice block had to be transported from the Arctic region to the deserts of Africa without melting and not even using a refrigerator. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this extraordinary story from 1959 when the attention of the entire world was focused on an ice block. The ice block weighed 350 kilograms, and the goal was to transport it from one corner of the world to the other. The starting point was the Norwegian city of Mo i Rana, and the ending point was Libreville, a city in Central Africa. But why was such an incredible journey being undertaken? This story began a year earlier in 1958 in Luxembourg, a country in Europe where a very famous radio station was operating. This broadcast radio station was known as Radio Luxembourg and was famous worldwide. The radio station posed a unique challenge for all its listeners, and the challenge was that if anyone could transport a 3-ton ice block from the Arctic region to Africa, a heavy reward would be given. Radio Luxembourg had decided to offer this reward because they knew very well that bringing such a massive ice block from the Arctic to Africa was nearly impossible. It was not just a simple journey. It was an 8,500 kilometer long journey, including the 2,500 kilometer long desert in Africa where temperatures reached up to 50 degrees Celsius. In other words, anything, including iron, would melt in that desert within minutes. So how could this ice block survive the long journey and reach its destination safely, especially without the use of a refrigerator? Radio Luxembourg had offered such a heavy reward that for every kilogram of ice, 1 million francs would be given, which amounted to $16,000 at that time for each person. This meant that for the $48 million worth of ice blocks, it was indeed a significant amount. However, there were some rules to this challenge. The first rule was that the ice block had to be transported as a whole. The second rule was that it could only be transported by road. The third and most challenging rule was that no refrigeration could be used. Radio Luxembourg had put up such a heavy reward precisely because they knew that bringing such a massive ice block from the Arctic to Africa was impossible under any circumstances. This challenge remained unaccepted for many months, despite being broadcasted on the radio. However, one day, a man named Birger Natwick stepped forward and announced that he was willing to accept the challenge. Birger Natwick, who worked in Norway as the managing director of a company called Glass Watt, believed that his company, which manufactured insulation material, could complete this challenge easily. If Birger Natwick succeeded in completing this challenge, he could get a considerable fortune for his company Glass Watt and its employees. The news quickly spread worldwide that someone had accepted Radio Luxembourg's ice block challenge to accomplish this task. Natwick formed a team and began work. News headlines were running with the ice block challenge. In recent times, many attempts had been made, and when Radio Luxembourg became aware of what they had done, they were filled with fear of losing a significant amount of money. Fearful of the consequences, they decided to retract their offer. However, Narvik remained determined to complete this challenge. They believed that even if they didn't receive any money, it would still benefit their company's publicity. The decision to start the ice block's journey had already been made. It was decided that the ice block would travel from Narvik, a city in Norway, to Libreville in Gabon, Africa. After passing through Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain, and Morocco, it would finally reach Gabon. The Natwick team consisted of an engineer for drivers, a truck mechanic, and 2 cameramen. They decided to cut the 3-ton ice block into 200-kilogram blocks, as transporting such a massive ice block posed a significant challenge. These blocks were then airlifted using a helicopter to ensure a safe journey. The team's hard work garnered significant media attention, and several companies started sponsoring them for the Ice Block Challenge. Shell took responsibility for the fuel, while Scania provided them with a truck to transport the specially crafted ice block. Friends from other countries helped them cut through the glacier, and after loading the 350-kilogram block into a specially designed container, it was loaded onto the truck. The container was meticulously insulated with a special glass wool on its sides. Finally, after 20 seconds in February 1959, the unique journey began. The initial phase of the journey was relatively straightforward, because the weather was pleasant in those regions and the roads were in good condition. Thanks to the widespread news coverage, people from the cities they passed through cheered and encouraged them, boosting their morale. As they progressed, their publicity increased, and even the mayor of Paris had extended an invitation to them. However, when they reached the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, they faced a different set of challenges. The truck had to be transported across the sea on a ship because there were no proper roads. This added a new level of complexity to their journey. They had to navigate treacherous conditions, as not only was there a risk of the ice block melting, but the engine of the truck was also at risk due to the extreme heat. Moreover, the political situation in the desert regions they had to cross was volatile. Freedom fighters hid in the mountains, and there was a risk that they might attempt to stop the truck and its crew. The French Foreign Legion provided them with security protocols and specific instructions on minimizing stops in the desert. The journey through the desert was particularly challenging, with the truck getting stuck in the sand repeatedly. Despite these dangers and hardships, they were making progress. With each hurdle they overcame, their publicity grew, and they were inching closer to their destination. Finally, when they arrived in Libreville, they received a warm welcome. However, everyone was eager to know how much of the ice block had survived the 28-day journey through such extreme conditions. The moment of truth arrived when they opened the container. To their astonishment, after enduring the most challenging journey, the ice block weighed 2,714 kilograms, with only 11%, or 336 kilograms, having melted away. The rest of the ice block was still intact. Radio Luxembourg may have withdrawn its reward, but the ice block challenge had been successfully completed. Narvik and their company received a massive boost in publicity. Glass wool, known as klava, continued to be produced by them, its popularity soared, and their journey in 1959 only added to their reputation. Hopefully, this video from Discovery will be liked and shared by all of you. We appreciate your comments. Thank you for your support. We look forward to your continued appreciation.